Hey, guys, I'm doing a interesting video for you guys. So I'm gonna do a discussion over the best, or my opinion on the best horses to use for Magic. Um, whereas standard, modern, commander, whatever the case may be. So yeah, and this list is known in no particular order. It's just kind of one that I've kind of put together for this video. So yeah. So first one up is Guardian Summer. So Guardian Summer came out at Aether Drift, and it says whenever this creature attacks while solid, choose your library for a non-land permanent with mana value 3 or less, and put it on the battlefield. So basically, you can grab anything that's a non-land permanent. Basically, like enchantments, artifacts, and creatures you can basically grab. I would not recommend any instants or sorceries, but yeah. So this card's really quite good, and that's why it's on the list, because it's, different areas of Curse of Summer, and it's one that I really like because if you leave this untouched, it can take control really quite quickly. So yeah, especially depending on what the player has for targets and all of that. But yeah, it's really quite a good horse card. Next one is Curse of Summer, which obviously I have to throw in here. So other horses you control have Indestructible. At the beginning of your end step, if you gain life this turn, you create a 5/5 white horse creature token. So there's easy ways to copy it, so that you have two, so they both have Indestructible. The only other thing that you have to do is give it hexproof, which there's a number of creatures that can do that as well. So, but it's a incredibly powerful horse card, and it can definitely put a fierce amount of horses on board as well, depending on how many copies of Curse of Summer that you make. So, yeah. So, an incredibly good horse card, and definitely one that I'm glad to add to the list. Next one, Shawfax. Now, this came out of Lord of the Rings, and this is an incredibly important horse card to add as well whenever you're playing red-white. So, horses you control have haste, which is really quite good. And then, for attacks, you may put a creature with lesser power from your hand onto a battlefield from equal to its power. Equal to or less than its power. So if you make this a 6 power, then you can do anything 5 or less, basically. So, or if you make a 14/4, then anything with 13 power less you can bring out onto a field. So yeah, it's incredibly quite good for what it does. So yeah. Next one is Calamity. So this came out of Thunder Direction, and this is an incredibly good horse as well. So it has haste, with Sal 1. So when you attack while it's Sal'd, you may target a non-legendary creature you control, or that's Sal'd it, basically, and you make a copy of it. The token goes away at sacrifice that token at the end of the next end step. So it's an incredibly good horse, because there's a lot of videos I saw when this first came out where you could copy or tap a dinosaur or dragon to sell it, and then make a copy of it if it wasn't legendary, or so on and so forth, basically. So it's an incredibly good horse, and that's why I made the list, because it's a really good one. So next, I had to add Casablanca to this as well, because I could not add this to the list, basically. This horse is absolutely busted as heck. So it has Sal 3. Basically, when you attack, while it's Salad, you flip the top card, and any damage that gets, if it's like a mana cost, let's say I flipped this. So 3 damage would go to each opponent. And if you didn't shout it, then the damage would go to you. So, yeah. It's an incredibly busted horse card. Especially if you can get multiple triggers off it. Like I've been able to do a few times. Yeah, it gets really, really stupid. You could hit possibly a 6, and then possibly another 4, so that'd be 10 damage total, or, you know, the possibilities are endless with this. So, and then the cards that get flipped get added to your hand. So, yeah, it's incredibly dumb. So, next one is go to. So it has style 1 attacks while it's sold. You create a treasure trove. So, this is really good in like a 3-4 color deck, maybe 5 color. Because if you have a creature that costs, or with power 1, you can just tap it to sell, and then just create a decent amount of treasure tokens, and then be able to catch more things along with the lands that you play. So it's also, like I said, it's a pretty good horse to add to any deck that plays red to create more treasure tokens, more mana, and then be able to use that to bring out more things. So it's a really, really good horse. Next one is Thundering Nightmare. This horse is absolutely dumb as well. So as long as it's paired with another creature, when our opponent plays a spell, put a +1/+1 counter on each of those creatures. So basically, if you give a horse soul bond, which is what it'll have, if you pair it with. So let's say you pair it with this. So when your opponent plays a spell, Guardian Sunmare and Thundering Nightmare will both get bigger. Or you do it like Curse Sunmare, or like I said, any horse. So yeah, it can get out of hand really, really quick. So, which is why I wanted to add this to this, because it's a really, really good horse. Vimare. So it has hexproof, and then can't be blocked by black. Back when this was in standard, this horse was doing a lot of things in standard. It was, I think, a staple for a decent portion of the decks, if I remember right. And I had gotten my copies really early on, like, I think pre-order. I got basically the non-follows for like less than $1 or something. Maybe it was $1 or something like that, but. And then I picked up the whole core for, what was it? Around maybe $30 roughly, maybe less than that, but somewhere around that number when this was in standard. So I pretty much had everything that I wanted for the deck, and then all I had to do is just add spells and lands and or else. So, but yeah, this was a really, really good horse back in the day, and it still is. I still really enjoy it. If you pair it with my favorite mechanic is horsemanship, then my opponent's only way of adding this is a board wipe, and hope that I don't have a indestructible protection card to keep it alive. So yeah, it's really, really, really quite good. Search Mare. So this one can't be blocked by green creatures. When it attacks or when it deals damage, you may draw a card, and then if you do, discard a card. And then for 1 in blue, Search Mare gets +2/-2 until end turn. So this is another decent horse card to have for like draw power. Because you can attack it while it's 0 and then boost it before it deals damage, and then you get the effect. So it's pretty good to help get around certain things. So down there. So you choose a color. When you cast a spell of the chosen color, you gain 1 life. So this is mainly used for essentially mono whites, roughly. But it's good for any other deck too to kind of help gain life a little bit. So, but it's not a bad horse. It's probably not one on the top tier list, but it's not bad to gain life and kind of benefit from other things. So yeah. And then build a pony. So you make 2 foods, and then you can sacrifice the food. And then until in turn, the creatures or target creature you control, its toughness becomes the power until in turn. So this is also not a bad horse. I wish it was a little bit better in some ways, but I can just build a pony that it has food on it, so it makes sense. So, and then Fraction Warhorse. So for kicker, 1 white. When it enters the battlefield, if it is kicked, you create a 1/1 white soldier creature token. So this one's actually not bad either because you can combine it with some of the mounts that I was showing, and so you can have a decent number of soldiers to tap to mount your horses. So it's not terrible. It's not the greatest, but it's not terrible for that occasion. So yeah. And then Plague Mare. This one's playing there on one of my favorites I use a decent amount. So when it enters, creatures your opponent controls get -1/-1 until end turn. So if you have like the new bird that came out of Boomburrow, or like anything else to make your opponent's toughness 1, and then you play this, it pretty much just wipes out the whole board for your opponent. So it's pretty fun to use in combination with a few cards that can do that. So yeah. And then Waybreak Hippocamp. So when you cast a spell during your first spell during your opponent's turn, you draw a card. So it's essentially a little bit more draw power when you play an instant spell, basically. So it's not terrible, but it's a decent horse as well. So yeah. So thank you for watching, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the list I put together. And yeah, I will catch her. There you go.